I want to start by quoting Leonard Cohen's song, The Partisan. And it starts like this. When they poured across the border, I was cautioned to surrender. This I could not do. And I think that sums up pretty much where we're at in the UK. Of course, that song was written about French partisans during the Second World War. But the reality is, we've been put in a situation now in our country where we are resisting tyranny, obviously by peaceful means, obviously within the law, but we are resisting tyranny. And one of the things I've noticed is that a lot of people have gone very, very quiet on social media. I've gone the opposite way. I've tried to post more since the incidents and the terrible, terrible murder of those 3 children and the subsequent incidents after that, because I think we need a voice. The reality is our voice needs to be heard. All we're hearing all the time is the catcalls from the far left and from the Islamists, calling us far right, calling us EDL, all sorts of slurs, all sorts of slander. Slander against Tommy Robinson, accusing Tommy of inciting the riots. Tommy did the opposite. Tommy did at least 6 videos that I've seen, calling for calm, telling people that rioting is completely opposite of what we want to do and what we want to achieve as a movement. But when we get down into the actual weeds on this, I can understand why people are not posting on social media. I can understand the fear. The problem is, I'm the sort of person, if someone pushes me into a corner, I'm going to come out swinging. Metaphorically, of course. Nobody likes being told what to do. But when you look at these things, I'm going to read a couple of things here. First of all, David Spring. He's become famous or infamous. And I think one of the shocking things about this man's case is he had apparently a completely clean criminal record. He'd never been in trouble with the police before. He was a retired train driver. Was caring for his sick wife. That was what he was doing with his time. He felt so passionately about what was happening in the country that he went to Downing Street after Downing Street was called on. And I've seen the video footage. He didn't seem to do anything. He was trying to protect women that were being arrested. He was doing what any man should do. Did he swear? I don't know. I didn't hear him swear. But that's what the police allege. And he pleaded guilty to violent disorder. And he got 18 months in prison. Think about this. He's a 61-year-old man. He's never been in the criminal justice system before. He's been picked up, his door kicked in. Can you imagine how that affected his wife? His sick wife. He's a carer. And he, by all accounts, by looking at the footage, he seems like a caring man, a man that was interested in what was happening. He wasn't attacking the police. The judge said he wasn't violent. He just said some hurty words that people didn't like. And as far as I know, swearing in the street is not violent disorder. Saying who the F is Allah is not violent disorder. And as far as I know, it's not against the law. But what's happening is some absolutely disgusting precedents have been set here. And the bar of prosecution is getting very, very low. So 18 months for literally doing nothing. That's my opinion. And I would be very interested if anyone could persuade me otherwise. I've seen the footage. I've looked at this case. And it seems to me like a massive miscarriage. I hope there's a lot of these cases are appealed. I don't know whether the people will get compensation, but the judgments are just disgusting. And it is absolutely reinforcing the 2-tier policing mantra. Next one. Gary Harkness, veteran, 12 months in prison. He was at, I think he was in Plymouth, demonstration in Plymouth. Protest in Plymouth. A legal, legitimate protest that turned into a riot that went violent. He didn't hit anyone. He got aggressive, yeah. He'd had a few beers, yeah. But he's got 12 months in prison. And the judge said, you weren't involved in the rioting. And then another lad, I think it's Daniel Kingsley, 21 months for a Facebook post. A Facebook post for putting something on Facebook. Jordan Parler, 20 months for a Facebook post. So none of these men have been violent. None of these men have attacked police officers. None of these men have attacked any member of any community. but they are in prison for a considerable period of time. And the other issue is with all these guys going to prison, and you know, maybe I shouldn't have mentioned the names. All these guys going to prison. I saw the video show trials. I saw the judges being videoed and the prisoners being videoed as they got sent down. These are show trials. These are. Listen, you better not step out of line. You better not say anything we don't like, or we're going to kick your door in. We're going to drag you away from your family and lock you behind a door in a dangerous prison for 12 months or 18 months. And I never forget the lad. His nickname was Bunny. Lad, somewhere down the south of England, I can't remember exactly where. Funny feeling it was Brighton. And he put bacon on a mosque, a bacon sandwich on a mosque. And I think he got 18 months in prison. He died in prison. How did he die? Well, allegedly it was suicide. But was it really? Was it really? Because let's get it right. The world and its dog knows that prisons up and down the country have a massive, massive problem with Muslim gangs running the wings, running the landings. That's what's going on in our prisons. And that's not me saying it, that's what inspectors of prisons have said it. There's been reports, there's been newspaper articles. There's a massive problem with radicalization within prison and with people being bullied and intimidated to convert to Islam. So these people who were not violent, who went to demos, like I've been to hundreds of demos, I think, in the past 7 years. Some of them have got very, very close to the knuckle. Let's just put it that way. And a lot of it's been down to the way they've been policed. And again, I wasn't there on Downing Street on the 31st, so I don't know what happened, and I'm not going to comment on that. But I know some demonstrations have been policed superbly. Other demonstrations have been policed absolutely terribly. And that's just the fact of the matter. That's just the truth. So what do we do? What do we do in our movement? Well, I've said it from the beginning. You continue to do your peaceful. If you've got a peaceful protest to go to your peaceful protest. Don't be intimidated by the state to laying down your legal right to protest. You have a right to protest. And actually, I would say we have a duty to protest. I'll be going to a protest tonight, and I'll do everything within my power to make sure it's peaceful, and I'll certainly be peaceful. But I'll be going to a protest that we've been doing for a year and a half in my hometown in Northern Ireland, outside in a legal hotel, or a hotel containing illegal migrants. That's what I'll be doing. And if you've got protests in your area and you are responsible and you will stay peaceful and you're not going to mess about and attack the police, go to your local protests, whatever they are, and use that right. Speak out on the internet. That is your right. Use your voice. It's your right and it's your duty. Now's not the time for running away. Now's the time for standing up, for having a bit of steel in your backbone. You think I haven't thought about my door coming up the hallway because of the prominence that I've got in this movement? And I know that if they can find anything on any of us, they will. Because that's what's going on here. This is turning into a police state. Well, my mantra is very, very simple. We resist that police state. And we do it like Martin Luther King Jr. did it. We fight hate with love. We do it peacefully. But we resist, and we stand strong, and we stand tall. And we do everything we can to make sure that our rights are not trodden down. And we form a political movement. We form this cultural, spiritual, and political movement. And we do everything we can in our power to legally and democratically gain power from these scum who have been ruling our country for far too long. These reprobate people that hate everything that Britain stands for. These treasonous people. We stand up, we get elected, and we take power back. That's what we're going to have to do. Do you know what? I would much rather not be doing any of this, I'll be brutally honest with you, because the cost to me, and not just me, my family, people I know, people I care about, the cost is absolutely massive. A friend of mine was arrested last week. His house was wrecked, computer seized, phone seized. He'd done nothing wrong. They just wanted to give him a touch. Look at Tommy. Tommy is pretty much having to live in exile at the minute. Serious death threats against him. Serious threats against his family. Absolutely despicable the way that man's been treated. Absolutely disgusting and despicable. And again, that should be we should be saying, if you continue to treat that man like this, and we're going to stand up and we're going to protest. Yes, we'll do it peacefully, but we'll try and put 1 million people on the streets if you continue to persecute this man. Because when you're persecuting Tommy Robinson, you're persecuting every single British and English person who cares about the country. Anyway, it's been a very, very tough couple of weeks for a lot of people. A lot of people in a far worse situation than I'm in, that's for sure. A lot of people arrested for doing, as far as I'm concerned, for doing nothing. Arrested and sent to prison for doing nothing. And we've got to push back legally, peacefully, but we've got to have our voices heard. And we've got to say this is wrong and it can't continue. Because if we don't do that, they'll just continue taking liberties. So I think it's time to redouble our efforts, to do twice as much. And I've been trying to didn't get a video out yesterday, I've been trying to do 2 videos a day, just to, again, stiffen everyone's resolve, to put a bit of steel down people's spines. There's too many jelly babies out there. People need to stand up and stand tall. Do I want to get arrested and go to prison? Absolutely not. Do I think that the state is capable of fitting people like me up? Absolutely. 100%. And there's consequences. There's consequences for standing up and doing this. And there's a price to pay. But you know what? I couldn't sleep in my bed if I wasn't willing to pay the price. And I'll say something else. I mean, I don't know about anyone. I know a lot of people who watch my channel. You watch this and you get a great deal of comfort from that. And that's one of the reasons I keep doing this. Because we must have hope, and we must continue on believing that God's on our side and believing that we can win this in the long term. And we can't let these people intimidate us and bully us and silence us. And if I can be a voice to people who watch my channel, I'll do that. But you know, there's many a time I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning after having very little sleep, and I am looking at my country and my heart's breaking for this country. And I mean that. I mean that sincerely. You know, I don't get anything. See, doing this has, all it has done is cost me money, cost me heartache, caused me all sorts of problems. Right? Now, I'm not saying woe is me. You know, I'm well willing to pay that price. But the reality is, I could not live with myself if I didn't speak out, if I went silent. And I wake up and I look at the state of the country, and my heart breaks for this country. So we've got to keep going, and we've got to do everything in our power to win this battle. Everything. And if anyone's given up hope out there that watches my videos, don't give up hope. We're still pushing on. We've had some really serious knocks in the past couple of weeks. A lot of people have been threatened. A lot of people are feeling very threatened by the state. I'm more worried about the state than I am about any Islamists or any terrorists of any sort. The state at the minute is an absolute beast. It's a monster. It's out of control. And we really need to stand up and be counted in these days. But that's it, guys. I mean, quite a long video. I've been trying to keep the video shorter. Quite a long video, but I just want to get all that off my chest. Probably because I didn't do a video yesterday. That's why you got twice as much today. But we've got to fight. We've got to fight. Like, just like Trump, when he got up after he'd been shot in the ear, he just said, fight, fight, fight. And we've got to fight. Again, I'm not talking about a physical fight. I'm talking about an ideological fight, a political fight, and a spiritual fight. That's what we've got to do, guys. And do not give up hope, because I believe good will always, in the end, triumph over evil. See you soon.